The introduction of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, in the United States represents a significant step forward in the evolution of money. But alarmingly, it also has the potential to herald the end of democracy as we know it. Let's dive into the why and how. The first and most notable reason is omnipresent surveillance and control. A CBDC would empower the government with the ability to monitor every single financial transaction in real time, creating an Orwellian society where citizens are under constant watch. This unprecedented level of surveillance would grant the government unparalleled power to suppress dissent, brutally silence critics, and manipulate public opinion at will, ultimately eroding the very foundations of a democratic society. Reason number 2, this would mean the death of financial privacy. Implementing a CBDC would effectively sound the death knell for cash, a form of money that has long guaranteed privacy and anonymity. Forcing citizens to use digital currency would give the government unfettered access to their complete financial history, obliterating any semblance of financial privacy. This loss of privacy would create a chilling effect, as citizens become increasingly paranoid about expressing dissenting opinions or supporting controversial causes, stifling democratic discourse and paving the way for tyranny. Lastly, there would be an unbridled centralization of power. A CBDC would hand the central bank absolute control over the money supply and the ability to enforce negative interest rates, resulting in an unprecedented concentration of power. Democracy thrives on the distribution of power in the system of checks and balances. The centralization of financial power poses a grave threat to these core democratic principles, as it enables the government to manipulate the economy and exert sinister influence over citizens' lives, tightening its grip on the population. By enabling omnipresent surveillance, annihilating financial privacy, and centralizing power to an alarming degree, a CBDC could push us closer to a dystopian future where democratic values are trampled upon. We must carefully consider the dire implications and potential risks of implementing a CBDC in the United States to ensure that we do not unwittingly trade our cherished democratic values for a terrifying authoritarian nightmare. The frightening consequences of centralized control over a nation's currency and financial system have been evident throughout history. While there is no direct historical parallel to a central bank digital currency due to the unique nature of digital technology, we can draw similarities to past events that demonstrate the potential dangers of implementing a CBDC today. One such example is the rise of totalitarian regimes in the 20th century. In particular, Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler and the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin both illustrate the horrors that can unfold when a government exercises extreme control over a nation's financial system. In Nazi Germany, the regime's iron grip on the economy and the monetary system allowed it to seize the assets of political opponents, religious minorities, and other targeted groups, effectively crushing dissent and consolidating its power. The government's manipulation of the Reichsbank, Germany's central bank, to finance its war efforts led to hyperinflation and a collapse of the currency, wreaking havoc on the lives of ordinary citizens. Similarly, in the Soviet Union, the centrally planned economy and state control over the financial system enabled the government to wield its banks as weapons to finance oppressive policies and suppress dissent. This centralization of power allowed Stalin to eliminate political opposition and control the economic resources of the country, subjecting millions to hardship, famine, and persecution. The implementation of a CBDC, with its potential for unparalleled surveillance and control, could lead us down a path disturbingly reminiscent of these dark chapters in history. It serves as a stark warning, reminding us to be ever vigilant and to carefully consider the implications and potential risks of introducing a CBDC. We must not jeopardize the principles of democracy and freedom, lest we find ourselves plunging headlong into a dystopian nightmare where the shadows of totalitarianism loom ominously over our society. However, as the shadow of totalitarianism looms ominously over our society with the potential introduction of a CBDC, there is a beacon of hope on the horizon: cryptocurrency. Decentralized digital assets like cryptocurrencies offer a viable alternative to combat the dangers of a CBDC, providing a pathway to financial freedom and privacy that is rapidly vanishing under the impending CBDC regime. Cryptocurrencies, by design, prioritize privacy, censorship resistance, and borderless transactions, empowering individuals and promoting financial inclusivity. Cryptocurrency counters the Orwellian surveillance that a CBDC threatens to impose, and as we will talk about in another video, this is exactly why your government wants it gone. History must be our greatest teacher, and it is important history does not repeat itself, as that would mean the end of our private lives and democracy. As the frightening encroachment of a CBDC on our democratic values continues to loom over us, it's crucial to understand the potential steps a government could take to consolidate its power and tighten its grip on society. The issuance of a CBDC can provide a government with increased control over its financial system. If a government were to pursue total control, several sinister steps could be taken after the implementation of a CBDC. Number 1. Elimination of cash. By mercilessly phasing out physical currency and forcing citizens to use the CBDC exclusively, the government could eradicate the anonymity and privacy offered by cash transactions, leaving citizens with no escape from the watchful eye of the state. Number 2. Complete financial surveillance. With the CBDC in place, the government could deploy advanced surveillance systems to monitor and analyze every financial transaction, granting them unparalleled insights into citizens' economic behavior and eliminating any hope of financial privacy. Number 3. Control over monetary policy. A government could wield the CBDC to exert more direct control over the nation's monetary policy, manipulating negative interest rates, inflation, and the money supply to tighten its stranglehold on the economy. Number 4. Censorship and financial exclusion. A government could use its control over the CBDC to ruthlessly censor and financially exclude individuals, businesses, or organizations that dare to defy its agenda, effectively silencing dissenting voices and crushing opposition. Number 5. Integration with other surveillance systems. The government could sinisterly integrate the financial surveillance enabled by the CBDC with other forms of surveillance, such as facial recognition technology and social credit systems, creating a suffocating surveillance state that would be near impossible to escape or circumvent. Number 6. Control over critical infrastructure. To further consolidate power, the government could seek control over essential infrastructure, such as telecommunications, utilities, and transportation systems, allowing them to exercise even greater control over citizens' lives and tighten the noose around the neck of freedom. These are potential avenues the government could pursue if it aimed to establish total control following the issuance of a CBDC. The key to preventing such a nightmarish outcome lies in the development of cryptocurrency, robust legal frameworks, oversight mechanisms, and technological safeguards that preserve democratic values and protect individual privacy. The time to act is now, before our worst fears become an inescapable reality. Yet, amidst this looming darkness, there is a glimmer of hope. The rise of alternative financial systems, such as cryptocurrencies and decentralized finance, offers a potential path towards preserving monetary freedom, privacy, and democratic values. By embracing these alternatives and fortifying our legal and technological safeguards, we can collectively resist the encroaching tide of authoritarianism. The future is uncertain, but together, we can safeguard our financial freedom and protect the democratic principles we hold dear. It is up to us to recognize the dangers of a CBDC and take decisive action, ensuring that the specter of total control remains a chilling vision, rather than a grim reality.